Content warning. The following video contains material that may be harmful or traumatizing to some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Just when you thought you could turn your back and walk away, the dark cloud of human indignity follows you. You have no choice but to turn and look it in the eye. It's the Sex Offender Hitlist.
Broken homes, broken lives, names behind polite disguise. Could be a smile, could be a badge, could be a hand that hides the scratch. You learn too late, you read the signs, the damage keeps its own time. But I see the mess, I see the crack, and I won't look back. No more silence in the hall, no more shadows on the wall. Every lie gets cut down clean, every sick excuse breaks me. The chipper is made for you, the chipper will chew on you. Every mask comes off, every lie gets crushed. The chipper is made for you, the chipper will chew on you. We protect the scared, we drag truth into air. The church pew, classroom badger suit. Any room can hide the bruise. Any voice can learn to preach, then leave a child too far to reach. So mark the hand and name the shame. Don't let power wash the blame. Call it out, make it plain, break the chain. No more silence in the hall, no more shadows on the wall. Every lie gets cut down clean, every sick excuse breaks me. The white chipper laughs at you, the chipper will shred you too. Every mask comes off, every lie gets crushed. Justice comes for you, the chipper will lead you to. We protect the scared, we drag truth into air. Let the guilty face the light, let the hunted sleep tonight. Not with fists, not with flame, we bring proof, we speak names. Let the courts and the sirens move, let the whole dark network lose. What they took won't disappear, but the reckoning is here. Justice comes for you, the chipper will lead you to. Every mask comes off, every lie gets crushed. Justice comes for you. Justice comes for you. We protect the scared, we drag truth into air. Stand up, speak up, no more fear. Justice lives here.
An employee at Bellevue Baptist Church is accused of sexually abusing a 15-year-old boy. Church leaders say they fired a 19-year-old part-time worker after learning of the allegation and reported it immediately to authorities. They say he no longer serves in any role at the church while the investigation continues. Bellevue says its child protection policies remain in place and under review. And anyone with information or concerns about a child's safety should contact State Child Services or local law enforcement.
Developments now in the death of a 2-year-old boy in Santa Clara County.
His foster brother accused of murder after the little boy was repeatedly physically and sexually assaulted.
ABC 7 Eyewitness News South Bay reporter Dustin Dorsey was in court and has the latest. Dustin?
Now, JR and Kristen, in addition to murder charges, the 17-year-old suspect was also charged today with 9 other and new felony counts. This after the district attorney's office says that his 2-year-old foster brother, baby Jackson, was hurt by him multiple times before his death.
I can't imagine what this sweet little baby went through. Who can hear a baby cry and continue to harm them, let alone kill them?
Family and friends still distraught after the death of 2-year-old baby Jackson, who was found unresponsive and injured in his crib on Easter Sunday. Police say Jackson's then 17-year-old foster brother, his cousin, had sexually and physically abused the toddler, leading to several suspicious traumatic injuries. Jackson's cause of death is still under investigation after passing away in the hospital days later.
He was only 2. He did not deserve this.
Monday morning, the suspect was formally charged with murder as well as multiple other felonies, including child assault causing death, sexual assault, and assault with a hair tie. The suspect was 17 at the time of Jackson's death, but has since turned 18, and Santa Clara County District Attorney Jeff Rosen is seeking to try him as an adult.
This is a 2-year-old child that was horribly abused and viciously murdered, and we want to make sure that the level of accountability is the right level.
Evidence suggests that Jackson had been repeatedly sexually and physically abused by his cousin after being placed with the family by the county in February. Our partners at the Mercury News report the cousin's mother also had a previous conviction of felony child endangerment in 2014, a crime that should have disqualified her from being a foster parent. County spokesperson Peter Gaiota told us in a statement the Department of Family and Children's Services is conducting their own investigation while requesting the California Department of Social Services does the same. DA Rosen says he will investigate whether or not anyone else is responsible for Jackson's death, including the county he represents.
This is the 3rd child in the last couple years under the care and custody of the Department of Family and Children's Services who has been murdered. Enough. Change needs to come, and it needs to come fast, and it needs to happen now.
Now, the suspect in this case will be back in court on May 21st, and that's when the probation department will make their recommendations on whether or not this case should go to adult court. However, a judge will make the final decision on that matter. For now, we're live in the San Jose newsroom. Dustin Dorsey, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
An Avon firefighter is now on leave after the FBI arrested him for possessing child pornography. Our Annabelle Childers dug into court records today and breaks down the allegations now tonight.
April 16th, Cleveland FBI agents arrested 42-year-old Timothy James McGoldrick Jr. on 2 child pornography charges. According to his arrest affidavit, an FBI agent based in Akron was conducting an operation to identify file-sharing users in Ohio that were engaged in the receipt, possession, and distribution of child sexual abuse material, or CSAM. During that operation, they identified Timothy McGoldrick. April 16th, agents and task force officers executed 2 federal search warrants, one on McGoldrick and the other on his house. According to the affidavit, they found a hard drive in his basement containing, quote, a folder of 778 total items, many of which contain CSAM. The affidavit states when they interviewed McGoldrick, he told them, quote, he has observed child pornography on many occasions. A spokesperson for FBI Cleveland confirms McGoldrick was arrested at his residence without incident and is being held at the Medina County Sheriff's Office on federal charges. The arrest drawing the praise of FBI Director Kash Patel, who posted on social media, "Well done, FBI Cleveland, protecting kids." Now, in the affidavit, McGoldrick told agents he was employed full-time as a firefighter for the Avon Fire Department and as a nurse at Metro Health. The Avon Fire Department shared a statement with us on his employment, writing, upon learning of the arrest, the employee was immediately placed on paid administrative leave and is prohibited from accessing all city facilities pending further review. We understand the public may have questions. Currently, there is no indication that the charges are related in any way to the employee's duties or employment with the city.
Metro Health also sent us a statement writing, this individual worked on a part-time as-needed basis in a non-patient-facing role. He has not been scheduled in weeks and will not be working here going forward. McGoldrick is set to appear in federal court Thursday for a hearing. Christy.
All right, Annabelle, thank you.
In other news tonight, an Aurora man has been charged in a child sex crime investigation. Brandon Puente is charged with 1 count of sodomy and is in the Barton County Jail. Authorities have been investigating him since last month after a mother and daughter came forward claiming he sexually assaulted the child while he was babysitting her. According to police, the girl said he touched her inappropriately. When officers interviewed him about the allegations, he claimed he was trying to tickle the girl.
New tonight at 10, an Athens man is behind bars after deputies say he abused a child under the age of 12. This started Friday when deputies responded to a report of abuse. Caleb Gandy has been identified as the suspect, and he was arrested today in Madison. He's now in the Limestone County Jail. He's charged with sexual abuse of a child less than 12 and first-degree rape.
A Portland firefighter is in police custody, accused of uploading child sexual abuse material online. Portland police say it started last August after multiple accounts were reported for uploading illegal content. They found activity on the accounts traced back to a Portland fire station and were connected to Andrew Ligatich. They say Ligatich turned himself in this morning. Portland Fire and Rescue says it placed Ligatich on paid administrative leave as soon as PPB notified them, which is standard practice. The Fire Bureau added that depending upon what happens, they'll conduct their own investigation to determine if unpaid leave is necessary.
This is 38-year-old Alex Butikofer from Lyle. The former PE and health teacher is now facing numerous charges, including aggravated battery, indecent solicitation of a child, and grooming. Police say on March 13th, administrators at Oxable Middle School came forward to police with allegations that Butikofer tried to get female students' phone numbers and social media accounts. As an investigation brewed, Butikofer was fired on March 25th.
With the knowledge and consent of the victim's family, detectives conducted a text-based undercover operation in which detectives made communication via text message with Butikofer under the guise of being a student.
Police say those messages gave them everything they needed for an arrest.
These conversations became increasingly sexual in nature and highly inappropriate.
Last Thursday, police say Butikofer made plans to meet with who he thought was the 14-year-old at this McDonald's parking lot in Yorkville.
He was taken into custody following a brief struggle with officers.
Finding critical evidence inside of his car.
These items included alcohol, as well as what appeared to be a sex toy on the front passenger seat. A blanket was also observed covering the windows of that vehicle.
Butikofer was also a lacrosse coach at Hinsdale Central High School and was let go several days before being fired from Oxable Middle School. We spoke with one parent whose son recently graduated from Oxable.
Horrific, literally horrific for any parent to go through that.
His younger son will be going there next.
Well, you never imagine being in an upstanding neighborhood of such things.
New at 11, more than 24 additional charges filed against a former West Georgia coach already accused of sexual assault and grooming a child. Investigators in Carroll County charge Jeffrey Brad Matthews with 39 total crimes, including 28 counts of child molestation. A child came forward saying Matthews abused them for 5 years, beginning when they were 12 years old. Now, this is not connected to Matthews' case in Bremen, where he faces a dozen charges, including 4 counts of sexual assault.
A former dental assistant at a Chandler clinic pleads guilty to child sex crimes. Police say this man right here, he inappropriately touched and photographed children during exams between September. His name's Dion Garcia right here. Here's his photograph. Between September of 2022 and May of 2024, while working at a pediatric dental and orthodontics location. Garcia is scheduled to be sentenced in June.
An East Texas man has been sentenced to 2 life terms for aggravated sexual assault of a child. A Henderson County jury found 81-year-old Randall Tidwell guilty, reaching a verdict in under 20 minutes. Evidence showed he abused 2 young girls over multiple years, with the case beginning after an outcry in Kansas. Officials say Tidwell will now spend the rest of his life in prison.
A child exploitation suspect tearfully pleaded not guilty to federal charges in Huntsville today. Donald Muhort faced a federal judge for his arraignment hearing. According to court documents, 42-year-old Muhort was using the social media platform Snapchat to message a 14-year-old girl in Limestone County in early January. Documents state he was sending explicit pictures and videos to the girl and asking her to perform sex acts. Records show he wanted the victim to meet him before school to have sex. It says he even asked her to commit bestiality. No word on Muhort's next court hearing.
New at 6 o'clock, an upstate school district faces a lawsuit after one of its teachers was arrested for criminal sexual conduct with a minor.
Nicole Callahan was taken into custody last summer. Deputies say she had a prolonged and inappropriate relationship with a teenage boy. She worked at the Homeland Park Primary School. But now a lawsuit has been filed on behalf of the victim, in this case against Anderson School District 5. The victim later attended the South Carolina Governor's School, who is also named in the lawsuit. The lawsuit claims the Governor's School failed to stop the abuse from continuing because Callahan was able to check the victim out of the dorms. Also named in the lawsuit is a local theater production called Project Challenge Playhouse. The lawsuit claims Callahan began grooming the victim during drama practices and performances at the Playhouse. Now, we have reached out to the defendants in this lawsuit, but we have not yet heard back. Callahan herself is not listed as one of the defendants.
All new at noon, a Lacey Spring man is behind bars accused of uploading child pornography to the internet from his father's home. Robert Pegram is charged with 10 counts of possession with intent to disseminate child sex abuse material. Court records obtained by WAFF say investigators found him after they were sent 11 tips from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. The IP address led them to Pegram's father's home in Lacey Spring. After reviewing the tips, investigators realized Pegram was the person uploading the images. They say he'd been using the messaging app Kik to do so. Unofficial jail records show he is under a hold from the Federal Bureau of Investigations. He remains in the Morgan County Jail.
Happening today, the Iowa Supreme Court will hear arguments in a human trafficking case. The man was arrested in an online child sex sting. Court documents show Kevin Lynn was charged with human trafficking after investigators say he messaged a woman about paying her to find a minor to have sex with. That woman turned out to be an undercover cop. Kevin was arrested at the meeting place, and investigators say he admitted he believed the person he was meeting was under 18. However, the district court dismissed the human trafficking charge, saying that there wasn't actually a child to traffic. The Iowa Attorney General appealed the decision to the state Supreme Court. The state Supreme Court arguments start at 7 tonight. You can watch it on the Iowa Court's website.
Well, new at 10, a judge has sentenced a Hoyt Lakes man to more than 9 years in prison for criminal sexual conduct. In February, Robert Hanu pleaded guilty to 4 counts of third-degree criminal sexual conduct and 1 count of pornographic work. Authorities say Hanu had sexual relations with a child under 16. Prosecutors say the survivor's courage in reporting the crimes may have prevented additional instances of abuse.
Following a joint law enforcement initiative called Operation April Storm, 4 Onslow County sex offenders are facing charges. The Onslow County Sheriff's Office and NC Department of Adult Correction focused on making sure registered sex offenders were following requirements, probation conditions, and applicable state laws. Between April 9th and April 10th, 50-year-old Jonathan Wheeler, 27-year-old Tanner Burgess, 52-year-old Dwayne O'Leary, 22-year-old Eric Foster were all charged with several violations. During the operation, investigators say they suspected that illegal digital content was on the devices seized. Officials say more charges could be filed once a forensic analysis is completed on the devices seized. A full list of their charges is on WITN.com.
All right, Andrew, thank you. We're continuing to follow that breaking news we first brought you today at noon about a former teacher in South Bend.
Yeah, South Bend police arrested him last week in relation to a case out of Iowa where he's now facing charges related to grooming a minor out of state. So take a look at your screen. This is 39-year-old William Kramer of Elkhart. The arrest happened on Friday in Iowa, and we are working to learn more details about what he did and how long it's been happening.
Yeah, according to the Buena Vista County Sheriff's Office in Iowa, Kramer is booked on charges related to grooming and enticing a child under the age of 16. Disturbing allegations here. Our Emma Broad dug up past information on him. She actually talked to a former band teacher from Washington High School where he worked as a health teacher. They reported Kramer a couple years ago for making students feel uncomfortable, saying he should have been let go, but wasn't.
So Emma joins us now live in studio. Tell us more about what you learned, Emma.
Well, our team just confirmed this evening that Kramer has been fired from Washington High School. This, according to the spokesperson with the South Bend Community School Corporation. And today I talked to a former teacher at Washington who tells me they initially raised concerns 2 years ago about Kramer making their students feel uncomfortable. They say not enough was done and the school system failed these kids.
My stomach kind of dropped dramatically, knowing that I had tried to get this guy removed from the school system.
That's the voice of Chris Dietrich, a former band director at Washington High School from the years 2023 to 2024. Dietrich tells me they had several students say they felt uncomfortable and harassed by Kramer. But it went beyond just the classroom.
And he took these students to Chicago in his personal vehicle until 10:30 at night.
Accompanied by that story, Dietrich also provided email receipts showing a message from William Kramer about this planned trip to Chicago, which was sent to Dietrich on April 23, 2024, stating in part, "You have been selected to be a chaperone on the Chicago trip, which will take place on May 24th. It goes on to say, "I do need one driver, as we will be driving ourselves to Chicago." To which Dietrich responded in part, "Thanks for the invite. I'm going to pass this time." It wasn't until after the trip on May 29th, 2024, that Dietrich actually reported Kramer's behavior to the principal at the time, Kennard Robinson, stating in part, "I think an administrator needs to intervene with the issues taking place between the sponsor and the students involved." It goes on to say, "I believe Mr. Kramer may be acting inappropriately." To which Robinson responded, "Thank you for this information. I'm currently aware of the situation and handling the situation. Thank you for your concern."
The administration told me that they handled it, but the 4 students, when I followed up with them, told me that the administration never talked with them about it, never offered any support or any kind of, they should have fired this man. They should have fired this man.
This morning, before Kramer was officially fired by South Bend Schools, a spokesperson with the district confirmed they were aware of the arrest that was made in Iowa. We also confirmed with the Penn Harris Madison School Corporation spokesperson, Kramer was a former boys basketball coach at Penn High School from 2024 to 2025, making it clear Kramer was not a teacher at Penn. You can read these full statements on our website at WNDU.com.
Whether a coach or a teacher still around a lot of children, that is the worst fear for a lot of parents watching tonight. Emma Broad, stay on it for us. We appreciate it. Thank you.
A Coweta County man has pleaded guilty to disturbing crimes involving children.
Yeah, Fox 5's Doug Evans has covered this case since 2022 and has the update from Coweta County.
Joshua Allwine's computer is said to have been one of the toughest that the Coweta County Sheriff's Office has ever cracked open, and they say it revealed his dark and disturbing crimes, including a how-to manual for assaulting children. Allwine will spend the next 19 years in prison after pleading guilty in a Coweta County courtroom following his 2022 arrest for sexual exploitation of children. District Attorney Herb Cranford telling Fox 5, quote, "The Joshua Allwine case is one of the most egregious child pornography cases our office has ever handled. In addition to being caught with a large amount of child pornography, he was in possession of a PDF titled The Pedophile's Handbook. As we reported in June of 2022, that book, when printed at the sheriff's office, was over 1,000 pages long, and it contained 28 chapters such as finding children and how to recruit single mothers for the exploitation of their children. A Coweta County judge sentenced Allwine to the maximum 19 years in prison for one of the images. District Attorney Cranford tells Fox 5 that Georgia law changed the month after Allwine's arrest in 2022, that Cranford says would allow the state to, quote, obtain a separate sentence for each image in the defendant's possession. And Allwine was said to have had thousands of child sexual abuse images deeply encrypted on his computer. We're told that Allwine had even bragged at one time to law enforcement that they would never crack open his encrypted computer files, but they apparently did. Peachtree City Police had also filed charges in 2022. I'm told that those cases remain open and a trial is still pending. I'm Doug Evans, Fox 5 News in Coweta County.
Now, only on 6, a man convicted of trying to kidnap a little 6-year-old girl, that man right there, outside her Miami home, was back on a court today to learn his punishment.
Yeah, police say the 35-year-old was caught on camera roaming through an apartment complex trying to lure the little girl to him. However, that child fought back and got away.
Yeah, she sure did. NBC6 reporter Christian Colon joins us with how much prison time the now convicted sexual predator will be getting. Christian.
The surveillance video was described by prosecutors as Leonardo Venegas hunting for his prey around an apartment complex in northeast Miami-Dade in the summer of 2023.
I bit him.
You bit him? Yeah. And where'd you learn to do that?
From my mommy.
From your mom? At the time, 6-year-old Aleric told NBC6 Venegas grabbed her while she was playing outside, but she fought back.
He's not going to kidnap me. Then I bit him. And then he stabbed me, and then he threw me on the floor, started running back to his car, and left.
In November, a jury found Venegas guilty of kidnapping and abusing the little girl. But today, Venegas once again claimed he was innocent.
I mean, the IT is a guy with tattoos on his face. Look at him. There's nothing.
His loved ones also described him as a caring and humble church member and asked for a chance for him to be rehabilitated.
I feel for the family. They care about him, and they're very hopeful. But hope doesn't help me protect the community.
However, the judge reminded the family of Venegas' dark side and sentenced him to 30 years in prison.
And no defendant in the United States should be sentenced 6 times harsher for having gone to trial. We're going to appeal.
And back here live, as you heard, the defendant's loved ones, they were disappointed at the 30-year sentence. His attorney, as you heard there, they also mentioned that he could be deported to Argentina after he completes his sentence. We did reach out to the victim's mother. She was here in court, but she did not want to comment tonight. We're live in Miami. Christian Colon, NBC6 News. All right.
A Holly Ridge man is in jail accused of uploading child sexual abuse material to social media. Investigators say a cyber tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children led them to 21-year-old Richard Panaluna IV. He's charged with 3 counts of second-degree sexual exploitation of a minor and is being held on a $100,000 bond.
Now to Champaign County, where prosecutors have charged a man after a month-long investigation involving child sexual material. Adam Longworth is in jail this morning, facing several charges, including pandering sexually oriented matter involving a minor. After searching a home on Post Road in Urbana, deputies arrested Longworth. Investigators say that he could face even more charges.
Prison without parole for his abuse of a young child. A Potter County jury found George Rogers guilty of continuous sexual abuse of a child last week. The DA's office says the victim trusted and cared about Rogers. She endured the abuse for several years before she told her family. The victim testified at trial, and so did experts, police officers, and her family. After the guilty verdict, the jury recommended a life sentence for Rogers. Judge Tim Pirtle sentenced him to life in prison. he will never be eligible for parole.
A Lawton man was arrested for having multiple images of child pornography.
According to court documents, authorities arrested Gabriel Lenning after receiving a cyber tip that he had uploaded child sexual abuse material through Discord. When speaking with police, he reportedly admitted to having and distributing such images, and a search for his various devices uncovered more than 210 images.
Lenning's charges included aggravated possession of child sexual abuse material and distribution of obscene material.
Also on Thursday, another convicted sex offender serving a 10-year probation sentence is now headed to prison after that probation sentence is revoked. 28-year-old Russell Catletti has been on probation since 2021 for a charge of online solicitation of a minor stemming from communications between himself and someone he believed to be a 14-year-old girl, but was actually an undercover member of the Texas Rangers. He was then indicted last year for failing to register as a sex offender, as was required by him, leading prosecutors to file a motion to revoke his probation sentence nearly halfway through its completion. On Thursday in the 89th District Court, Catletti pleaded true to the motion to revoke and guilty to the charge of failing to register, with presiding Judge Dobie Kossub sentencing Catletti to 6 years for online solicitation and 12 months in state jail for failing to register, setting those sentences to run concurrently with one another.
Decades in prison for a Roanoke woman involved in a child exploitation scheme. A federal judge sentences 36-year-old Anna Marie Fleischman to 50 years. In 2023, she recorded a minor engaging in sexually explicit conduct. As a result, Fleischman and Cecil Spengler were both arrested.
Former Waco attorney Adam Hoffman, who was accused of assaulting his son's friend for 3 years, just took a plea deal.
According to the plea deal offered by the Texas Attorney General's office, Hoffman will serve 30 days in jail. Some don't feel like the punishment fits the crime, and they're taking a stand against it. News 10's Isabella Quintanilla has more. Isabella.
Yes, that's right, Lauren and Gordon. When Hoffman originally went to trial almost a year ago, he was facing a first-degree felony charge, which could have meant life in prison without parole. This morning, a group of protesters gathered on the steps of the McLennan County Courthouse to express their frustration with the reduced charges.
It's not fair. This system is not just.
Christina Laredo says she is among the many who were shocked to hear that Adam Hoffman's charges had been dropped to 2 Class A misdemeanors.
We have questions how a sex offender can get sentenced 30 days whenever his original sentence was 20 years to life.
She says there are many in this system, including her son, who are serving more time for lesser crimes.
Nothing compared to this, and they are dying in prison, serving time in prison, and will never get second chances.
Pamela DeGreat, another protester at the courthouse today, sharing that something has to change.
We see time and time again that they get a little slap on the wrist for anything, and our kids get thrown away like they don't matter.
Even Senator Cornyn's campaign waited on the decision to reduce Hoffman's charges, sharing in a statement, quote, Ken Paxton took a horrific first-degree felony case and reduced it down to 2 Class A misdemeanors, initially suggesting it would accept no additional jail time. This is one of the most outrageous examples of leniency towards a violent criminal in modern Texas history. Cornyn will be in the runoff against Attorney General Paxton this May for U.S. Senate. Under the terms of the plea deal, Hoffman must forfeit his law license for at least 5 years and is banned from any future contact with his teenage victim. However, he will not be required to register as a sex offender.
And I do not understand how this is okay, that we allow this on our streets, and we say that we are protecting our children. I don't see this.
Now, I did reach out to the Texas Attorney General's office by phone and email, as well as to his campaign office for comment, but have not heard back. I also talked with Hoffman's attorney, Jerry Morris, who did not wish to comment prior to Hoffman's sentencing on April 27th. Reporting in studio, Isabella Quintanilla, KWTX News 10.
My name is Detective Tatiana Grigg, and I am a detective in the Crimes Against Children unit. I have been a detective in this unit for a little over 4 years, and it's just a passion of mine. I think that children are the most innocent, vulnerable victims, and to get justice for these families is very important to me. So in 2024, we got a call for service that a mother had located a video on her boyfriend's cell phone where her boyfriend was sexually assaulting her 6-year-old daughter. I knew that we had to collect a lot of evidence, especially the cell phone. I know that I said her boyfriend, but this man had been a part of this little girl's life since she was born. So somebody very, very close to her, somebody that she trusted. We were able to obtain the video that mom found, and we were able to make an arrest because of the evidence against him. However, we did collect his cell phone, and we ended up getting a search warrant for it. They were able to locate multiple videos of him sexually assaulting the 6-year-old little girl. And in July of 2025, he ended up taking a plea offer for 35 years. And so he will be in prison for those years. And again, yes, we got justice for this family, and people think of that number and they're like, oh, that's high, or it's not enough time. But in my mind always goes to the victim and her family and what they have to now process and just deal with for the rest of their lives. I will always think about her and what she went through. I love what I do, and I'm very proud of it. But it's difficult. It's been one of the most challenging part of my career, but it's also been the most rewarding.
Montgomery County Uber driver has been arrested accused of soliciting teenage boys he met during rides. 28-year-old Josiah Carroll of Magnolia is now behind bars. Records show the rides happened throughout Montgomery County. Investigators say there could be more potential victims.
KPRC 2 News reporter Corley Peel is in Montgomery County tonight, where she spoke with the mother of one of the alleged teen victims.
Stephanie and Keith, this woman is a busy mom, and she says she set up that Uber teen account so that her son could always have a ride while she is busy at work. But she never thought that her son could potentially become a victim of an explicit crime.
Hey, Mom, I don't think I'm comfortable riding Uber anymore.
Over the phone, this anonymous mother shared how this Uber driver's text to her teen son made her maternal alarms go off.
Mix of emotions, angry, a little, disheveled.
The mother says her son booked a ride through the Uber teen account. Records show the driver, later identified as 28-year-old Josiah Carroll, told the teen his mom just died, and Uber cut majority of his fare. Carroll offered the teen a cheaper ride off the app.
The Uber proposed an idea that, he could just pay him $20 to pick him up, as it would be cheaper than, using the app. And so they exchanged phone numbers, and this was my son's second ride with him.
The arrangement took a turn when the teen told his mother Carroll sent him inappropriate texts about sex acts, saying it doesn't matter if you're 17, that's the legal age of consent in Texas. But it's not legal. Her son is 16.
So my son screenshot it and said, you know what, Mom, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this anymore. Uber is this guy weird.
The mother and son alerted Uber through his teen account, and his mother called police. Records show her son is not the only victim. Carroll allegedly sent unwanted, sexually explicit images to a 13-year-old boy he met during an Uber ride. The boy told investigators Carroll tried to lure him to a grocery store parking lot in Montgomery. Carroll was arrested on charges of solicitation of prostitution of a minor and online solicitation of a minor. This mom, grateful her son spoke up.
But I definitely made that report, not only to protect my child, but protect any other children that may have had that same issue.
And Uber sent a statement saying that Carol no longer has access to the app. Montgomery County Precinct 1 constables and the Magnolia Police Department are investigating this case. So if you have any information, they're reminding people that there could be more victims out there, so you are urged to call police. Reporting live from Montgomery County, Corley Peel, KPRC 2 News.
And a local man is behind bars accused of trying to meet a person he thought was a 14-year-old girl. Mount Vernon police arrested 45-year-old Clinton Maxey. He faces charges of indecent solicitation of a minor and traveling to meet a minor. This comes after help from a group called Operation 17-2, which helps police catch online predator activity. Our team met today with Garrett Gross, the president of that organization. They do what they do to protect those who can't protect themselves, he says.
If that was a real person and they actually met up, it's going to follow them the rest of their life. You know, I don't think there's any crimes that are worse than against children.
Police say while some online groups aim to expose predators, those efforts can raise legal concerns if not handled properly. In this case, officers say they were brought in at the right time to ensure a strong investigation and prosecution. They encourage anyone who suspects this type of activity to contact law enforcement directly.
41-year-old Clinton Wayne Mosley pled guilty to aggravated sexual assault of a child. He was sentenced to 60 years. Plus, on the recommendation of the state, the court additionally imposed a 20-year sentence for indecency with a child by sexual contact. The victims were female children ages 7 and 9. Mosley wants further prosecution in Lampasas County on related charges.
A Pitt County sex offender is behind bars after officials say he was discovered to be on a school's property. Ronnie Reel Jr. was arrested on April 13th by the Pitt County Sheriff's Office. His arrest came after detectives began an investigation days before after receiving information that Reel, a registered sex offender, had been on the property of Trinity Christian School on Golden Road. Officials say evidence revealed that Reel had been on the school's campus. The 50-year-old was charged with one felony count of a sex offender going unlawfully on child premises. Reel was taken to the Pitt County Detention Center and remains under a $100,000 secured bond. He was also charged with a post-release parole violation for which he was denied bond.
Recently, the 54-year-old was arrested on Friday, accused of following two young girls who are 12 and 13 years old around several aisles in the Laconia Walmart and then sliding a cell phone underneath a rack to take pictures up their skirts. Since 1995, Mendigo has faced a number of convictions, including indecent exposure, burglary, assault of a child, and lewdness. In 2014, Mendigo pleaded guilty to breaking into a home in Concord and assaulting a girl while she was asleep. He's been registered as a Tier 3 sex offender since. It's this criminal history that the prosecution pointed to when discussing bail.
Despite being on a parole and despite being a sex offender and under the supervision of that statute and reporting requirements, he is alleged to have done what he did over the weekend, which is he's not able to control himself. As a result, he is an absolute danger to the public.
Mendigo, who is still in the process of getting a lawyer, was given the chance to speak in court, but he did not. Once Mendigo gets a lawyer, he will then be formally arraigned. The court also ordered that he cannot have any contact with any child under 18. Outside Laconia District Court, Maria Wilson, WMUR News 9.
Tonight on News West 9 at 6, a man suspected of sexually assaulting a child in Ector County is out on bond tonight. This is who is arrested, 21-year-old Sergio Alberto Montano. According to the affidavit, deputies were contacted after the child told a loved one about the alleged attack. After interviewing the child, investigators arrested Montano. He's charged with aggravated sexual assault of a child. He is since bonded out of jail.
A North County high school teacher was in federal court today on a charge of receiving images of child pornography.
NBC7's Todd Strain has been following the story for us today. He joins us now from High Tech High in San Marcos with the latest. Todd?
School just got out here at High Tech High in San Marcos, and just a few minutes ago I talked to some parents off camera in the pickup line about a teacher at this school being arrested on a child pornography charge. They used words like concerning and alarming, because remember, this is a teacher they trusted to be around their kids. Eric Medina, a 9th grade Spanish teacher at High Tech High, is facing a federal charge of receiving images of minors
engaged in sexual conduct.
It's unsettling, to say the least, and I think we're as disappointed, shocked even as anyone.
After his arrest on Friday, High Tech High immediately placed Medina on administrative leave, sent this letter to parents saying the school has started its own investigation and is promising transparency. Today on campus, the school is providing private and group counseling sessions for students and teachers.
Keep in mind, this was a trusted colleague, and people are there's some that range of human emotion from, well, I didn't really know the individual, to, oh my gosh, this was a very close colleague, and so some sense of betrayal and everything in between.
As part of a lengthy, large-scale FBI investigation, Medina is alleged to have made online payments for child pornography from May through September in 2025. According to the FBI, on Friday, federal agents executed a search warrant at Medina's home. There, agents found child pornography on his iPhone, and Medina admitted to agents that he received child sexual abuse material.
We can say that we were informed by the authorities that at this point in time, there is not believed to be any connection to students at our High Tech High system.
Before this year, Medina taught the previous 2 years at High Tech Middle School, which is on the same campus. Medina previously worked at YMCAs in Oceanside and Julian. In a statement to NBC7, the YMCA said in part, "The safety of our children in the Y's care is our top priority. We are aware of a recent arrest of a former employee. We take this matter extremely seriously and will cooperate fully with law enforcement as needed." Obviously a difficult time for all involved, especially the students here at High Tech High. In San Marcos, I'm Todd Strain, NBC7.
Okay, Todd, thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey everyone, and welcome to KXI 12 News at 6 o'clock. I'm Jeff Eliasoff.
And I'm Caroline Fletcher. We're learning more about the arrest of a Sherman couple charged with child exploitation last week.
KXI 12's Taylor Brooks has tonight's update.
At the north side on Travis Apartments, a quiet Thursday turned into sirens as investigators searched a Sherman couple's apartment.
Our Internet Crimes Against Children unit receives multiple tips from NCMEC on almost a weekly basis.
It started with a tip from Google. More than 300 files showing children ages 1 to 13 being sexually assaulted, according to an affidavit.
This was one of those tips where our investigators started looking into, started finding validity to it, and wrote a search warrant.
Investigators say 30-year-old Stephen Bruno and his 26-year-old wife, Lori Bruno, were inside when they arrived. According to investigators, the couple's apartment at the north side on Travis apartment complex was searched, and electronic devices belonging to both Stephen and Lori Bruno contained child exploitation material. During the search, Stephen Bruno admitted to downloading child pornography, and he was arrested. After seizing Lori Bruno's devices, investigators found more than 30 animated images depicting children engaged in sexual acts. She was arrested Friday and booked into the Grayson County Jail. Neighbors tell me many children live at the complex, and they're relieved the suspects were arrested. The Grayson County Sheriff's Office urges parents to stay alert.
Know what your kids are doing. Check their phones, check their tablets, check their gaming systems.
Both of the Brunos remain in custody, and we will keep you updated as we learn more. In Sherman, Taylor Brooks, KXII 12.
Well, police in Mount Vernon say a local man is behind bars there after allegedly attempting to meet who he believed was a 14-year-old girl. The arrest came after a tip from a group that targets online predators. News 3's Waylon Walls-Parker has more.
Mount Vernon investigators say the suspect, Clinton Maxey, thought he was talking to a teenage girl online, but instead was talking to members of a group dedicated to identifying potential predators.
Mount Vernon police arrested and charged 45-year-old Clinton Maxey with indecent solicitation of a minor and traveling to meet a minor. And here are the moments Maxey is taken into custody. The group that helped find Maxey is called Operation 17-2, inspired to protect children's innocence. They use undercover online profiles posing as minors. They say suspects initiate contact, not the other way around.
They solicit the conversation, and we just kind of go from there. And then if they get to a point where they want to meet up, They think they're meeting a 13-year-old, and then I show up.
Garrett Gross is the president of the organization. He says they document every interaction before arranging meetups, where they coordinate with law enforcement.
They're documenting everything. They're screenshotting everything from the first initial conversation all the way through.
Mount Vernon's police chief, Robert Brand, says investigators reviewed messages, coordinated with the state's attorney, and set up surveillance at the agreed meeting location.
Our officers contacted our investigations division, who responded and met with the individuals that had the messages and the concerns, and started an investigation into the matter.
While Operation 17-2 helped alert police, authorities stress the importance of proper investigation procedures.
The concern is if a group gets involved that doesn't have proper training or goes about it the wrong way, that we can't successfully prosecute a case.
Still, the group says they hope their work brings awareness to what dangers are out there for children.
Think about if that was a real person and they actually met up, it's going to follow them the rest of their life. I don't think there's any crimes that are worse than against children.
Officials say parents should stay vigilant online and report anything suspicious directly to law enforcement.
Police say this investigation is still ongoing. In Mount Vernon, Waylon Walsh-Parker, News 3.
I'll take this.
We now call 25 CR 1651, the state of Texas versus Ryan Anderson. That's you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Present with Mr. Samuel, your attorney, and the state's attorney. You were charged with the second-degree felony of sexual assault, according to this indictment, which carries with it up to 20 years in prison. And what did you do today?
This is Bob. We're asking.
You okay, Bruce?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Yes.
Go ahead.
We're asking for
What is it right now?
$250,000.
Okay. You would. Okay. The court is looking at the PSR, the public safety report that is required now into law, and and also the circumstances of the crime are part of the equation. The indictment, which was handed up on November 5th of 2025, last year, a couple of months ago, it states that you committed a second-degree felony of sexual assault by penetrating the sexual organ of another person without their consent, and penetrating the mouth of another without their consent with your sexual organ. Those are two different sexual offenses rolled into this allegation. So there are two different crimes of sexual assault that are part of this indictment. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then criminal history. Do you have much of a criminal history?
No prior felony convictions.
I beg to disagree. In 22, it looks like he was convicted of illegal possession of a controlled substance, a third-degree felony, sentenced to 10 years, and that was probated for 5 years. Then, let's see, looks like there was a second conviction of illegal possession of a controlled substance, confined 10 years, and probated for 8 years. And it looks like that was out of the same arrest. Then he was also put on, out of that arrest, illegal possession of marijuana, Class B misdemeanor, deferred probation for 15 months. And
felony or misdemeanor?
Misdemeanor. Yeah, it was Class B, it looks like. Then there was a Class A misdemeanor that he was deferred for 15 months probation. This is all out of the same event. Then a misdemeanor deferred for unlawfully carrying a weapon, 15 months probation out of that event. So he had a weapon with the drugs. Then let's see, earlier in March of 2016, it was domestic violence charge. It looks like a misdemeanor assault on a family member. He was sentenced to 1 year confinement, probated for 2 years. Then it looks like in October of 2011, unlawfully carrying a weapon, a misdemeanor, 2 years probation, and I can't tell if it's deferred or not. It just says 2 years probation. But we have 2 convictions of regular probation in 22, which means that you're not eligible for probation if those indeed are accurate. And the public safety report is being referred to, and it's part of the record for the purposes of this bond hearing.
I'm not seeing it. Okay. Let's see. No,
the same
only the judges.
Sexual assault, a nurse examiner's kit was performed on the defendant. Is that right? Or
that's on the victim.
That's on the victim. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Anderson's DNA was shown up, was matched to substances found on the lady.
Yes, sure.
Okay. And so I can see this one's going to be, was it consensual or not?
Yes.
But this also says she was very intoxicated. Okay. Can't take advantage of a lady.
No.
Not supposed to take advantage of a lady.
Sometimes things are not as they are.
Well, it's not as though he hadn't been in trouble before.
May I please the court?
Go ahead.
Your Honor, again, the bond is presently set at $250,000. We believe when we have the opportunity to present this case, there will be some understanding to the case. However, at this time, he's being held in the county jail. He does have a job. He's been working. He's always worked since he got out of the military. And he served 4 tours of duty with the military. And he's been working in the community since he's been out. And
when were you in the military?
99 to 2018, which I was 17 for.
And how many was it doing?
4 tours on record.
And when? During what period of time?
For the wartime, 03, 04, 05, 06, 07, 09, and 10 and 11, beyond.
Okay. Okay, that's great. But thereafter, you picked up a bunch of convictions since then, right?
Yes.
May I please
okay. Yeah, that's great for your service, but you got to follow the rules. Go ahead.
Again, sometimes things are not as they appear, but we believe, given the opportunity to prove himself in court, the court will see. However, we would like the court to understand he's serving. He has 2 children, minor children that is in his presence, and he has 2 adult children. His mother is present. He lives with her, helping her, as well as at the same time he's serving the community. There are several brothers from the Houston, Beaumont region of the Masonic Order, where he works very tirelessly with them. Ask them to at least just stand, those who are with him.
Let me ask you, do any of you know anything about the circumstances of this case? Y'all weren't present at the time. You were present when this happened?
No, I wasn't present.
Oh, okay. That's what I want to know. Who was a witness? No witnesses?
No witnesses.
You may be seated. And the mother is present. And should he be released on bond, he will be staying with her because she is now raising the 2 minor children.
Correct.
And he has 2 adult children that also are help assisting her.
Correct. Yes.
He's willing to adhere to any bond amount, any bond conditions, such as monitors or whatever. He's going to appear for court. And he's not flight risk. He's from the area. He's been here. He lives in Nederland. And with that, he still has his job right now.
Right.
And he would be willing to adhere to any conditions so that he may continue his work so that he can raise his family or and that's what we're requesting this morning, that the bond be lowered so that he could at least go back to work and he'd adhere to house arrest when he's not working or whatever.
What's Stacy?
Several facts. Number one, the bond condition, the bonds as it's set with its conditions, $250,000, a GPS monitoring, no contact with the victim, and it currently says must remain in Jefferson County. We believe that all that is just and proper. Why I say that, Judge, is that they mentioned his military, but the truth is that on April 30th of 2013, he was dishonorably discharged. And that was behind some charges very similar to this offense. As the PC suggests, there's an additional charge from 2023 for the same or similar conduct. So it's this offense that occurred when he was in.
Go ahead.
The probable cause indicates that he has the same or similar accusation from 2023 that the state intends to bring into evidence as well, because behind the CODIS hit that was done on this. So
it hadn't been indicted, though.
No, sir. I'm just I'm fleshing out some of the facts based upon what's been said. 2 other matters that I want the court to consider as to why this is appropriate. The jail information indicates that he is being held by Galveston County for an unlawful possession of firearm by felon. I'll be investigating that to determine if the state's going to use that in our punishment case, but that's
what's the status on that?
Yeah. He has a hold, according to the jail screen right now, to go to Galveston. Should the court do what they're asking, he's not going to be able to go to his job. He's going to go to.
There's an indictment pending there.
There is a charge that, based upon the number, is a JP number for unlawful possession of firearm by felon.
Misdemeanor.
No, sir. It's going to be an unlawful possession of firearm by felon is a felony offense that he's looking to resolve in Galveston. Additionally,
aware of that?
No,
any charges on it?
no.
Additionally, what the court's already read out of there is he was on probation out of Washington County for the 2 possession charges that Your Honor sees in your safety report whenever these offenses are alleged. So at some point in time, Washington County is going to as well want to visit with him about their own separate motions to revoke probation. Add all that up. We've got 3 counties that are interested in him. We've got 2 unresolved felony probations in Washington County, a felony in Galveston, our case that's going to incorporate a prior refused additional matter. I'll be looking to determine whether or not I'm re-indicting that based upon the codicil. All that sums up to the fact that our county's not safe. The suggestion that anything more than what is right here is, in my opinion, not appropriate. The bonds and the amount based upon the safety to our community, I suggest, is properly set with these conditions, if not higher, but certainly not lower.
May I please, the court? I would like to address, that is incorrect about his discharge. He has not been dishonorably discharged. He was discharged for bad conduct, fraternization. And is that correct? Correct. And with that, that is also what had to do with the sexual assault that was alleged during that time, and that was dismissed. But that should be clear in the records once I get those records. Yeah. But we believe that there's sufficient ways to make sure he adheres to the conditions of probation. He is, and we just simply ask that he be allowed that opportunity.
The rules on bond are based upon criminal history and circumstances of this offense, of the offense charged. And the public safety report is required to be made a part of the record now in all bond hearing matters, so that the record shows what we know about the criminal history that's on record. What this court's problem is I'm a little unclear, and what I'm going to do is continue this hearing. I'm going to give everybody 2 weeks. I need to know more about this Galveston matter, the MTRPs. These are all obvious issues that need further amplification so the court can make an informed decision. And these prior probations and convictions out of the July 22 cluster of criminal cases that were handled on July 9th of 2022 somewhere that deal with 5 separate offenses where the defendant was either convicted, it looks like convicted on 2, placed on probation on others. And then I want to know about the 2016 probation that was discharged. Those are issues that the court is unclear about, especially when we are talking about a case of sexual assault where Victims' Rights Act has certainly made it clear that judges have to consider closely for victims' concerns what is in the best interest of not only the defense but also alleged victims in these types of matters. And I've got to make a record, which I don't have enough of now, to support what the rules say or the proper way to do things. So I'm going to give everybody 2 weeks to get more information for me, and we'll pick this up where we left off.
Thank you, Judge.
Bruce, let me take care of yours real quick here.
Broken homes, broken lives, names behind guilty face the light. Let the hunted sleep tonight. Not with fists, not with flame. We bring proof, we speak names. Let the corpse in the